Lost media has become a hot topic online in recent years. And it's no wonder, because who doesn't love a good mystery or a throwback from the past? Several internet detectives spend hours to even hundreds of dollars searching for lost TV commercials, episodes of their favorite shows, and unidentified music. Take for example one Redditor who spent upwards of $800 for a script of a cancelled episode of Seinfeld.
Here goes the children's bunny again!
Lost media searchers are dedicated, and they'll go far and wide to find whatever it is they're looking for. You've likely been told that whatever you post on the internet stays there forever. While a very true statement, there are many instances where things uploaded years ago were suddenly wiped off. This has been the case for searches such as the iconic Slamfest '99 match, or the original unedited photos of Jeff the Killer, two of which are still completely lost to this day. While those searches have been going on, I've dedicated a lot of free time to finding lost web cartoons from the early years of the internet. And when I say early, I mean content dating back to the 90s and early 2000s. This was a time when the internet was still in its Wild West stages. Anything went on during this age of the information superhighway. Several independent artists and studios would take advantage of the many new software released during this time. Applications such as Adobe Flash and Animator were used to create all kinds of cartoons and interactive content. These early web animations proved that anybody could make their own movies and software. They were easy to use, and some of them were absolutely free. Popular modern-day web projects have these early creations to thank for evolving web animations into what they are today. Adobe Flash would discontinue in December of 2020, marking thousands of early web creations as unviewable. Many workarounds such as Ruffle and the Flashpoint Archive would preserve these pieces of internet history. Unfortunately, not everything was able to be saved. In this video, I'll be going over some interesting examples of lost web animation media. Whether you're eating lunch or working on your latest art masterpiece, I hope you enjoy the video. If you've ever looked at the funny section of newspapers, you well remember strips such as Charlie Brown, Big Nate, Garfield and Ziggy, some personal favorites of mine, all iconic comics that are still running to this day. But there has been one strip that used to be printed alongside the greats, which has since fallen from that position. This is Dilbert, written and illustrated by Scott Adams. It made its debut in April of '89. The strip satirized office jobs, which Adam himself used to work at prior to making comics. Dilbert was one of the more boring strips as it mainly discussed office culture and politics, but it was immensely popular to older adults. Throughout the 90s, Dilbert went on to become an American icon. There was the obvious stuff like books and toys here and there, but this snarky engineer was going as far as getting his own video games, commercials, and even his own animated TV series. A bit off topic, but this cartoon freaking rules, and is like 100 times better than the comic. Go watch it.
Wake up and assimilate the day.
I wonder if I could ever date a woman like Jerry Ryan.
That too is futile.
Okay, that's enough out of you.
Do not touch me.
Then how do I turn you off?
Believe me, I am plenty turned off right now.
Clock tease.
But in 1997, Dilbert would make his transition to the internet, where it would premiere another different animated series. This is 3D Zon-imations, and it was quite big for its time, where most studios would experiment with the new, cheap, and easy-to-use Adobe Flash. A studio named Protozoa Inc. would come in to produce 47 3D animated cartoons, featuring Dilbert, Dogbert, and the pointy-haired boss. While playing these cartoons, you were even able to move the camera and mess around with the environment. By today's standards, this doesn't sound too out of this world, but for 1998, this was really impressive. An edition of Animation magazine would discuss the project, even featuring it on the front cover, What could have possibly happened for this to disappear from the web? In 2001, after 3 years in operation, the pages for the cartoons were suddenly taken down for unknown reasons. Since recording software wasn't common at the time, these shorts were never re-uploaded. The only way to view them was to download the original files and to play them on an application made for 3D animation. It wouldn't be until July of 2021 where a recording of the first short, Fruits and Vegetables, was uploaded to YouTube by user Chen Archive. To my surprise, the original page URL on the Wayback Machine, a good chunk of the series still had functioning download links. I even managed to get a total of 38 shorts to play, which you are viewing right now, and they sure are bizarre. Unfortunately, the audio is completely absent, excluding one short, I Think, Therefore I Am, which is the only cartoon out of the 47 produced that can be considered found.
I think, therefore I am. But I'm micromanaged, therefore I am not. I have a philosophical question for you.
You're not me, therefore you're irrelevant.
Perhaps a former employee of Protozoa could help uncover the missing 7 shorts, along with their original audios. But because these shorts were made over 25 years ago and were left uncredited, it's difficult to track down the staff who worked on them. Alongside these 3D cartoons, there was another animated series that was more in style of the comics. Thankfully, every episode was available to download and has been re-uploaded to YouTube by yours truly. Today, Dilbert has become a controversial name in the comic strip industry, being dropped by hundreds of newspaper publications. This is due to offensive comments given by creator Scott Adams, who today calls himself the disgraced and cancelled cartoonist. Dilbert.com, which was once a website full of personality and content for its fans, has been downgraded to a blank page advertising Adams' several books. The Dilbert comic continues running under Dilbert Reborn, where the strip covers what Adam calls more uncensored and spicier topics.
Well, I'll be. Who would have guessed it? I've been date raped by Dilbert.
Adobe Flash has proven itself to be one of the greatest creations. It really changed the way we saw and used the internet. You could use it to create interactive websites, games, and watch animated cartoons. It wouldn't be long for artists to mix the three together and create interactive cartoons that also included games. One prime example is the 1999 adult animated series Thugs on Film. The show revolved around 2 English criminals, Cecil and Stubby, as they review and mock the latest blockbuster movies, all while either committing crimes or ranting in the comfort of their hideout. Towards the end of each review, they would rate the film based on the number of Rolex watches they were wearing. And to end it off, an interactive trivia quiz about the film would play. 2 unique voice lines played out for each question you answered right or wrong.
Okay, in A Nightmare on Elm Street, where did Freddy Krueger kill his victims? No, come off it, mate. The flick is called A Nightmare on Elm Street, not a bleeding basement bathroom on Elm Street.
The series proved to be very popular, not just among film fanatics, but tech-savvy people as well who were fascinated with the new technology. Thugs on Film was originally made exclusively for Mondo Media's website, but would eventually be distributed to other places, included Shockwave, Netscape, IMDb, and Reel.com. And if the name Mondo Media sounds familiar, it's the same company that went on to create the popular Happy Tree Friends that became the most popular animated web series in the 2000s. Thugs on Film ran through 1999 to 2001, and out of the 106 episodes that were produced, half of them are lost. 7 episodes were uploaded to the official Mondo Media YouTube channel, and several re-uploads on Dailymotion by user Joey. The quiz segments, on the other hand, were typically cut out, making them more rare to come by. Oddly enough, newspaper company The Washington Post had an accessible page from the early 2000s. The page was full of Thugs on Film episodes that were thankfully still available to download, with their quizzes included. Unfortunately, Thugs on Film wasn't the only series from Mondo Media that has lost episodes. When the company started producing web animated shorts, their original programming started out with several shows. Most notably were The God and Devil Show, Like News, Peaky and Poco, Adventures in Starland, Julius and Friends, and of course, Thugs on Film. Later on, more shows including Kevin Spencer, This Modern World, Absolute Zero, Happy Tree Friends, and Elmo Aardvark would later be added to the Mondo Media catalog. A handful of them have all their episodes uploaded from various users and were formerly lost media. The same can't be said for the others, which have multiple missing episodes or segments entirely. The amount of lost media from Mondo is hefty, and I'm not even including their acquired shows from other independent studios. Their former content was fully available to watch on the official Mondo Mini Shows website, until they completely replaced them with more relevant shows sometime in 2012. The search for the lost episodes of these shows are my most wanted pieces of lost media. Me, along with a small search team, have made lots of progress, and we hope to mark all these missing episodes as found, with the right contacts someday.
Yeah, well, I'll be meeting my bloody maker in less than a minute if this Bert doesn't close the bleeding window. It's the button in the top corner, mate. Click it!
Look, mate, it's over, right? So click the bleeding button already.
Hello there. If you are enjoying the video so far, then please give the video a like and consider subscribing. That is all. Bye.
As you can tell from the name of this title, this entry takes us to Japan. The web animation scene isn't as well documented according to my research, but web animated projects were just as big as here in the States. One such example is Kuwagata Tsumami from 2005, a series about a half-human and half-beetle girl as she causes all kinds of mischief in her community. The series consisted of 84 short episodes, and was created by a man under the name Rariko, who would go on to direct episodes for the popular Sanrio series Agretsuko. Like most other web shows, Kuwagata Tsumami was posted on their website until it went defunct. There was even a DVD release consisting of the first 30 episodes, which have been found and uploaded online. As of March 2025, half the series remain lost today. Okay, I'm actually getting off topic. Let me get into what this Henachoko Akuma show is. So as many of you know, whenever a movie or video game is announced, distributors in other countries have different ways of advertising their product. Ever since the introduction of Adobe Flash, advertisers have hired developers to create all kinds of content and go all out with the web design. Many of them would include downloadable video previews, games, cast interviews, and occasionally Flash cartoons. Over in Japan, many American movies would get the same treatment. One such example is the 2000 Adam Sandler film, Little Nicky. Japan must have had lots of faith in this film, as it was chock full of all kinds of goodies. One of them being this costume contest where users could submit photos of their cosplays of the many characters from the film. None of the images were saved on the Wayback Machine, so unfortunately we can't see these masterpieces. But if you thought that Little Nicky having a major release along with its own website in Japan wasn't bizarre enough, an anime web series was produced to tie in with the release called Anime-ban, Little Nicky Henachoko Akuma Nicky no Nai Taikenki. Gosh, what a mouthful. I'm pretty sure I spelled that out wrong. Yes, an official Adam Sandler anime existed this whole time and was completely unknown to everybody for over 20 years. It wouldn't be until July of 2021, for somebody to rediscover this. Twitter user Sandlerverse, an account dedicated to sharing out-of-context Adam Sandler clips, would post a tweet talking about it. So there was a short-lived anime based on Little Nicky used for promotion that can't be found on any platform. It's lost media now. Alongside the post, Sandlerverse would share 3 screenshots as well as a My Anime List page, which gave us even more information about this strange spin-off. The synopsis explains an anime tie-in to the Adam Sandler film Little Nicky, which expands slightly on the story, showing the demonic Nicky exploring New York. The background information listed on the website would provide lost media searchers with clues as to where these episodes can be viewed. The episodes were streamed on the Lycos website, with 1 episode released per week. They were later included on the Japanese DVD release of Little Nicky, except for the 6th episode. If whoever provided information to this My Anime List entry is correct, all we have to do is just buy a Japanese DVD copy of Little Nicky, rip the episodes, and that's it. Lost Media YouTuber L Supersonic Q was quick to provide links to DVD copies from Yahoo Auctions, Japan's equivalent to eBay. This long-lost anime was finally going to be seen by the internet, and it wouldn't take long for the DVD to be shipped and immediately ripped. User Spoofer451 would be the first to do so, uploading all 5 episodes to archive.org.
Hi, Sogono Boge! Why no na wa Beefy? Omae no papa Mao to wa furuku kara no yujin de na. No! Bagero! Bukurusu zo!
So we did it. Another lost media case that can be added to the found categories, along with the greats. Technically, this obscure anime wasn't really lost media per se, as it was included on the Japanese DVD. However, if we revisit the background information section from the My Anime List page, it explains that the 6th episode wasn't included in the DVD release for whatever reason. And if you think that this may have been some silly prank by contributors, searchers were quick to find proof of a 6th episode being available to watch, according to the Little Nicky Japanese website. Now, why on earth would editors leave out the final episode? I mean, it's a Flash cartoon, it doesn't really have that much space. I have no clue. But what about the Lycos page that was also mentioned? Lycos was an early internet website that used to have an animation portal that hosted hundreds upon hundreds of web animations, including the Little Nicky anime series. Unfortunately, no episodes were archived, and sadly the same for a majority of the Lycos portal. And that is where the search is. Only a single episode is missing to this day. Perhaps somebody in Japan who was a big Little Nicky fan may have a copy of episode 6 saved, or perhaps the studio behind the anime, 2000 Creators, may have all the copies of the episodes, completely oblivious that internet detectives on the other side of the world are searching for it. Adam Sandler's Little Nicky, my favorite anime.
Yay!
3D animation was becoming the next big thing to animation and movie fanatics. Pixar's first film, Toy Story, was such a massive success, becoming the 2nd highest grossing film of 1995. This film absolutely blew critics away and made audiences well aware of the medium. Of course, 3D animation was known about and produced as far back as the 70s, but Pixar really helped push the medium and inspire creative minds. One such example is Cheese Wars. This strange show was created by Greg Wren in 1998 and was one of the earliest independently produced web cartoons. It had its own website, cheesewars.com, and news about episode releases were announced here. It was a comedy series following a group of cheese characters and their offbeat adventures as they make pop culture jokes and dairy puns. Greg was not just a creator, but also directed, wrote, animated, and voiced every character, besides the females, during the show's run. He did basically everything all by himself, and was very dedicated to his passion project. He would even get interviewed on Arts and Minds.
Interested in is why cheese?
I don't have a dairy fetish or anything like that, no. When I first started Cheese Wars, it's the first thing I'd ever done in 3D, and I have no artistic skills whatsoever. So the cheese shapes, they're just triangles, they're real easy to draw. That's the only reason why it's made of cheese. As it turns out though, cheese is easy to draw, but it's hard to animate.
During its early run, episodes of Cheese Wars mainly consisted of still frames with speech bubbles, kind of like a comic book. But as Greg's passion for creating his own TV show went on, he would stray away from the comic book format and incorporate movement using 3D animation software that he learned all by himself. 13 episodes were released from 1998 to 2001, and they were all available to download. Until the website was closed sometime in 2009. Oh boy, this problem again. Since the website was up since the late 90s, most people assumed it would remain up for future generations, but that just isn't the case. This goes to show that anything uploaded to the internet won't stay up for long, so next time, if you have the opportunity to save something, especially if it's the only copy of it online, save it. After the website's closure, it wouldn't be until September 6th of 2013 where the Art and Mind interview would be uploaded. The interview was with the creator of Cheese Wars, Greg Wren, and during this discussion, clips of episodes 6 and 7 would be shown off. Just days later, the same channel, #CG History, would upload episodes 9 in its entirety, with a clip montage of episode 8. It is unknown if the channel had any more episodes. Before I proceed, there were two interesting comments that were left on both videos by user Jason B Animation. The first comment asked about whatever happened to the Cheese Wars episode. Jason would respond by explaining how Greg Wren's official YouTube channel had previously uploaded a few select episodes. Sadly, the videos would be made private after some early lost media searchers would repeatedly bother Greg about the missing episodes. The creator himself, who likely has every episode saved, no longer wants to help. And this is why you don't harass contacts. Although, I couldn't find a channel belonging to Greg, so I don't know how legit this is. But my point still stands. The second comment, also from Jason B, would be a breakthrough in the search. Jason would explain that he managed to get a hold of a bootleg VHS copy of episodes 10, 11, and 12. The videos would eventually be uploaded on Jason's other channel, literally named Jason's Other Channel, although in poor quality and recorded off his TV screen. And that is where the search stands. The creation of Cheese Wars is a great and motivational story. It all started with a guy fresh out of college who had a goal to create his own TV show. He never got that far, but he's proud of what he created and how beloved it once was on the early internet. This just goes to show that you don't need to be experienced to get started in the art industry. If some little known guy fresh out of college can learn 3D modeling, animation, and create his own animated series, you can do it too. Of course, it won't be Pixar levels of quality, but that's part of the process. Your skills will get better as you continue working on your craft. In the world of lazily made, artificially generated films, we need human creativity more than ever. So go out there, pick up a pencil, watch some tutorials in that creative mind you have, while it's still active.